So, I mean, you were talking about balancing, I guess, you guys want to make money, and you want the environmental benefits to make money for you. Just sort of picking one and looking at sort of fewer lamps purchased.
Yep.
So is there I guess, a requirement that goes along with that that says you have to make more money per lamp sold in order to offset the fewer lamps purchased?
I can tell you that I am in the environmental side, not in sales, not on the finance side. You would think, yeah, that there is, I mean, it's kind of counterintuitive. We want to make longer life lamps. People have to buy fewer of them. Wouldn't that put us out of business or with the growth and makes 70% of the buildings in the United States have never had a lighting upgrade. So even with longer lamp life, there is a huge potential in the marketplace. And in 4-foot T8 lamps, these are a little different, but if you took the ones that are in the ceiling here and spread them out, or you don't, but if you expanded them, they'd be essentially 4 foot. That type of lighting, the linear fluorescent lighting, there are 690 million of those sold every year. So as technology improves and efficiency improves, we can demonstrate that even if you've changed your lights 2 years ago, it's cost effective to actually change your lighting again. So the technology is going so quickly that there's still environmental and economic gains to be had by constantly improving your lighting. And then recycling again. Yes?
Your lamp light, do you also have dimmable products?
Yes. Yes, we've got, I'm not going to go into the product categories, but I will say that we're doing things like, one of my favorites is daylight harvesting. There's a ballast that we sell that goes along with the lighting where it detects natural light coming in, and it will dim the lighting. When the sun sets and it's less light, it will detect that and the lights will come on.
Smart lamps?
Lamps. Huh?
Smart lamps?
Smart lamps. Well, they're smart ballasts, but they work in lamps. Systems, right? Okay. Okay, I'm not a big fan of reading slides, so you guys can read as I talk. But I did want to show you things that we're doing internally that a company, Sylvania as an example, a company can do to reduce our own environmental impact that have either environmentally driven directions from senior management or they're economically driven. So things like improved systems at our plants, whether they're for recycling, for manufacturing, for filtration, reduced use of materials such as chemicals, moving from solvent-based to water-based solutions, that kind of thing. So those have both an environmental and an economic basis. I've read that reading. We also look at things such as what would happen if we reduced the size of our products. And part of that, as I said before, is economically driven. When you reduce the size, you're using less glass, less other materials. But there's also another benefit. When you reduce the product size, you can put more products on a pallet, more pallets on a truck. Fewer truckloads are driving across the country to deliver our products. And we're able to look at that and turn that into both cost savings and an environmental benefit. And we calculated just from this one lamp, which you can see, this is a micro mini lamp. And a lamp is light bulb lamp. We use these interchangeably. The term lamp is the industry standard. So you hear me say lamp, think light bulb, if that's what you're used to. Reduce use of, just from this one product, fewer trucks, 10,000 gallons of diesel fuel not used, which then correlates to 230,000 pounds of CO2. That's per year. You imagine we make 5,000 products, we can reduce the size of all of those products, we're saving a whole lot, not just on the products themselves, but throughout the chain. We also instituted things like no idling. at our loading docks. And that was because Massachusetts and other states where we operate have these local laws, but we did it for the entire company. And we own a fleet of service vehicles. So looking at things like speed management and no idling for our fleet has reduced or resulted in 130,000 gallons of diesel fuel not used. When we implemented the no idling, I got this phone call from the head of the fleet saying, "You're not going to believe how much fuel we're saving." I think I can imagine. I mean, it was huge. And you don't think about that, but when trucks are idling for 10 minutes, you've got 500 of them, or they're idling for an hour, or even, idling every other day, it adds up. So we're able to calculate, and that's a huge amount. Okay. Packaging, customer-driven changes. I've touched on that before. We had a customer who said, "Hey, we're trying to recycle everything that we can. When you wrap your pallets, you're wrapping them in plastic. That's okay, but your plastic has Sylvania orange printed on it. And because of that orange, we can't recycle that plastic wrap. Can you eliminate the orange?" We took a look at it. Not only is it going to save us a little bit of money, because now we don't have to print that wrap, but we can actually do that. We retain the customer and we look better for that customer. But that was a customer-driven request. And lo and behold, now you've got thousands and thousands of pounds of this plastic that's actually getting recycled as opposed to landfill. We had other customers who said, "We don't really like the plastic on the CFL packaging, the one that you have to use the crowbar to open, and you just hope that you don't cut yourself as you're opening it." Some customers have said we still need that. It's a theft issue. But some customers have said, "What else you got?" So we developed cardboard packaging, 100% recycled paperboard, takes 1/20th of the energy to produce paperboard than it does to produce plastic. We can, as you can see, these, I didn't bring one with me, I apologize, but these are the big parts. Here's just an extra cardboard in the back, so you can actually cradle them. Again, putting more products on a pallet, reducing that transportation-related emission. We shifted to, so this was actually something that we did, we pushed on a couple of customers, other customers asked us for it, and now it's pretty much the standard for all of our consumer products like this, our CFLs.